Guys, this little scalp alot, baby. Let's fucking go. I'm jumping right into this review. No time to waste. Another pretty good day. Again, trying. You know what? I'm just gonna try to explain some of the mental things that I'm like the mental game that I'm going through, and I think one of the top things, which is weird. You would think that like I'd be like fearful of losing money. No, no, no. I've realized that I'm actually the most fearful when um let's say I hit a big trade on the day and like I'm big green for the day. I'm actually more hesitant to trade after that, or also more fearful of like giving that back. So just something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind that I've been thinking about, because as you can see, I'm making really good progress in my prop firm right now. I'm almost a third of the way there already. I did not expect to be moving this fast. And this is a result of just me doing my best to be disciplined, keep hammering my trades over and over and over again, managing my losses, and as I sit here right now and I start inching closer, I definitely feel, an area that I can improve on, and that's definitely in the mental game. But yeah, I'm trying not to think too much about that. What I've been doing is clearly working. And I'm gonna keep doing it, man. And we're gonna go over the trades of the day. So I had about 6 today. Four of the trades were actually on one name, and we'll get to that one in a second. Very tricky, but as you can see, I started the day very good on a banger. And then yeah, I definitely, let's just go over it, man. So I actually have my trades from the morning recorded. So first trade of the day was on AUUD. Where is it? Let's find it. All right, now this one was actually a little bit earlier in the morning, but when I popped it up and I seen this setup, I was definitely interested in it. It had some news. This definitely was a lower volume play, but this is the first thing that stuck out to me when I was going through the watch list. It had a low flow. This was the very first pullback, and I was kind of catching it, close to where I would take a potential entry. So you know what? I thought it was worth the shot, and as you can clearly see, it definitely was. We had this nice initial move on the 5-minute, and it was putting in that first 5-minute pullback, coming down close to the 5-minute 8 right here. And long story short, I definitely was looking for a long entry. You can see that it tapped the 5-minute 8 right here. It was bouncing. But still, I was being very patient on this, waiting for that first 1-minute candle to make a new high. But as you can see, we just opened up a new 5-minute candle. So if this is going to be that candle that makes the push, that's the best timing that I'll have on it. So I was looking for this first 1-minute candle to make a new high. We didn't get it yet, so we're still pulling back. We're pulling back. Happens here. I didn't take an entry on it. I think I was just waiting for it, because we started to pull back again on the 5-minute here. Now once it put in this dip right here, and it put in another dip here, kind of this double bottom setup, I was definitely waiting for an entry. As you can see, got 30 seconds left in this 5-minute candle. I usually don't like getting. I'll get in if the candle is about to close. But again, preferably the best timing would be on the fresh 5-minute candle, which is coming up. So let's just jump in. So here's the fresh 5-minute candle. Yeah, something was going on with my orders, but anyways, I stabbed my entry right there. First 1-minute candle to make a new high after testing the 5-minute ADMA right here. I split the targets up in two, so I was looking for this 5-minute candle right here, the high of this candle. 263s as my first target, and then new high a day would have been my second target. And guys, you can see very quickly once we had this downtrend right here too. I really wanted to see that break. As you can see, we're starting to break. We're coming. Oh no, this wasn't a 7 a.m. play. Yeah, let's just let it rip. You got the first 5-minute candle to make a new high in this area right here. You can see volume is starting to increase. That's good. I'm looking to take profits on my first target right here. This is about 20 cents away from my average. A good place to take some off the table. I was really looking for it to break through this 263 resistance level right here and then push for new highs. I was just watching the tape here. Once I punched half of my position off right there. Looking for a squeeze through the highs right here. And boom, right there, took the rest off. As you can see, we got a beautiful squeeze through highs, and that, what a way to start the morning. I mean, such a good play. Yeah, it was lower volume, but it just made sense to me, and it was worth a shot, man. It's worth a shot. Worst case, I will stop out of the trade right here, and I'll just move on to the next one, man. As you can see, this one was clearly worth the shot. That very first 5-minute flag, and those pay, man. And this ended up being a pretty good mover for the day. Started the flag again here, kind of like a head and shoulders right here. Didn't really trade that. So, gonna need some time to talk about this next trade. SI, sissy. This one came out with breaking news as well. That's what got me interested. But this one this one turned out to be a great trade. However, it was hard to trade, and I was struggling a little bit on it. And I ended up taking multiple trades on it. I think I traded this 4 times. And unfortunately, I ultimately missed the biggest move on it. I was still able to catch a good move on it, but I wasn't full size in, and I probably muted my mic. I probably should have been. But yeah, let's just go over it. So this is that first initial move. And what I liked is that it was starting to pull back relatively quickly. So it didn't make a big move yet. Only up 30%. It was a super low float, like 500K. And I just felt like this had potential to be a big mover. And I mean, why wouldn't I play it if I think that I have that potential? But so here's that first dip on the that first proper pullback right here. I was still waiting. Waiting for that first 1-minute candle to make a new high. As you see, we're continuing to pull back here, which I was perfectly fine with. I'm like, we still got some room to the 5-minute 8. Kind of want to see that tap it. Let's see. All right, so this is about the area where, again, this thing was kind of spready as well. So the low of the pullback here is about 607, and I'm getting ready to take my first entry on it. With an entry of about 631, and as soon I was waiting to see like 631 come up on the tape, but it went straight from 629 to 640. I got filled at 640. It was all good. 200 shares. So with that entry, I definitely had a little bit more risk. I had about 40 cents a share of risk right here, which is a little higher. 200 shares wasn't anything outrageous, but it was definitely higher risk to my other trades. Not in a bad way. I just, I took a little bit more size on it. Therefore, my risk was closer. I like risking like $80 on this thing. But if this thing went, man, I would have had some good upside. But yeah, this name got really hard to trade. Yeah. Ultimately, I stopped out of this one, guys. Stopped out of this one. But guys, I did not freaking hesitate again in my head. 607 was the low of this pullback. If I see 606 coming in on the tape, guys, I'm cutting the trade, man. No drama. I don't care if it freaking wicks me out and goes up. Yeah, that sucks, but it's like, dude, you got to cut them when you say you're going to cut them. And as soon as I seen 605 come in on the tape, I was out of there instantly, man. No freaking questions asked. I know it sucks and you don't want to do it, but you got to do it, man. It's freaking discipline. And I think that's the most important thing that you can do is cut your freaking trades when you need to. And I'm talking to myself because I still feel like that old hesitation to just like, oh, I hope it's going to hold or I hope it's going to go up. No, man. We can't do that. We can't trade like that. Got to stay disciplined. Here we go. You watch this. 605, Gert. I'm out of there. Skirt. Bye-bye. I'll give you another chance. And as you can see, we still have like a little bit of room. Sometimes, it'll get close to the 5-minute 8 and then it'll rip away. But this one, what looked like it wanted to come and actually test this and see if it was going to hold. And I was ready to try it again, which is fine, man. Because if this does go in my favor, I'll make back what I lost, and I'll probably make more than that anyway. So it's okay. Okay, so you see we had a nice wick off the 5-minute 8 here. Um, I liked that. I definitely wanted to take another stab at it. I didn't for some reason here. Kind of wanted to see like what was going on. I mean, well then you kind of had like I was looking almost for like this first 5 minute candle to make a new high. But ultimately, I probably should have took my entry right here. So I definitely hesitated a little bit on this one. And I ended up, yeah, I ended up getting a worse average. Okay, yeah, so I made a few mistakes on this one. And I want to go over it. Let's go over that. Let's just back it up too, didn't boot it back. Okay, so right here. Um, put in a nice wick off the 5 minute A right here. Very good uh, level to use as a risk off. You can see that we're bouncing right here, and that next 1 minute candle to make a new high should have been my entry. As you can see, that 1 minute candle is about to close right here. We still have some time in this 5 minute candle, which I don't love that. Again, that's like a timing thing. Well, let's just see. Get some volume increase right here. So right here, like once we already had that first 1 minute candle to make a new high, I should have punched my entry here. Should have punched it right here. Probably would have got what, like 615s ish. Yep, I should have been long right here on my second attempt. But instead, it seems that I waited a little bit and I ended up getting a really bad fill again. So this is the second time that I had a fill at 640. And again, not terrible, but from a risk to reward, it wasn't the best because I'm almost at like a 1-to-1 here. And I ended up getting stopped out of this one. However, it didn't ever break this risk level, and I think I got out of fear of taking another loss on it because we're going to have to check the tape again. So again, the lower this pullback, 581s. If I start seeing 580s coming in this tape, I should stop out. But I ended up cutting my trade. And let's see if we even had 580s come in on here. I don't think so. At 581, 581. And I stopped out right there. But it ended up holding. And this was it's a little small mistake, but it's a mistake I already made this week once. And I've been able to fix it a couple times, but as you can see, it came down and held. And if it would have just held my average here, yeah, I didn't have the bet. I'm sorry. If it would have just held this risk, I had a decent average, not the best, but I think it would have been better than just I should have just seen. Long story short, it didn't break that risk, and I didn't catch that. I stopped that anyways, but now I'm just rambling. But I liked that it made that double bottom. I'm like, you know what? I kept that loss a little bit smaller. And I had a slight cushion on the day, so I was willing to take it again, man. I really wanted to see that move. I might have been getting a little forceful. But, you know, I felt like this thing had potential to go with the news, the low float, especially we're coming into 7 a.m. That was important too, so I know that this is early. I think I took another entry right here. Yep, so my third entry on it, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this thing one more time. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I really wanted to see this thing push for these levels, man. As you can see, here we go. We're starting to come into 7 a.m. here. Nice nice freaking tweezer at the tweezer bottom right here. You're getting that first 5-minute candle to make a new high right here as well. Definitely want to see that push and continue. Want to see volume start coming in, especially that 7 a.m. volume. Let's just fast forward a little bit. Coming into 7 a.m. now, volume starting to increase here. Now we're getting that push. Unfortunately, I only had half the size that I did on the other two. And that was definitely a mistake. I should have took the same risk. I had a lower entry here, 620, so I was risking 40 cents a share right here, which with this range wasn't terrible. I mean, I'm risking 40 cents a range, but I have 90 cents of range to the upside, so that's still valid. Yeah, I should have took some more size because this is the one that ended up going. And it was just tricky, man. It was a tricky trade. You know, I definitely got a little not frustrated, but I was definitely trying to, you know, I wanted to see this thing play out. and I was able to catch it with a little bit. As you can see, it got a really nice move here. Wanted to see a break through 710s, perfect. I even hesitated a little bit to cut my second half up here, but ultimately, I got out on this move right here. Um, let's see what else I had for the day. Because I know I traded it one more time, 724. Okay, so I think I took the very next setup on this. So yeah, so this is that very first 5-minute setup. It broke out. I made another 5-minute setup here. That first 1-minute candle to making high, a much better entry. Didn't hesitate on this one. Looked like it wanted to stop me out there, but it didn't. Didn't break my risk level, and I made sure that I was paying attention to that this time. I had more size on this one too, so I went ahead and got full size on this one. Look at this. Now we're starting to make a nice move. This is almost like a... I wanted to see that first 5-minute candle to make a new high right here. That was my first target right here, 730s. We ended up getting that. I took half off the table right here. Now I'm looking for that squeeze through 760s. Guys, ultimately, we don't get it. And I was still holding on to half right here. I ended up pretty much like stopping out, break even on the rest. And that was SISI. So again, this was a tricky name. And unfortunately, this thing ended up, I missed all this, man. This was that next pullback. This would have been a really good pullback too, but now, you know, we're kind of, here's the first pullback. Here's the second. It failed on the breakout. Here's the third, you know. I really like honing in on this first and maybe even the second. But this one, I decided to step away, take a little break. And that's the one that ended up really getting us a big move right there, over $8. But it is what it is. I ended up small red on that name, but I was still doing good on the day, especially from my first trade. Got one more to go over, THAR, which, man, this thing was a great mover today. I mean, this was the top gainer of the day, went up over 300%. It was a really great trade. Let's go over that one. This was a 8 a.m. play. I think I was a little late to it, but this one had breaking news. Again, look at this very first proper 5-minute pullback right here. I loved this, man. When it was coming down and giving us a deeper pullback, I really liked that. Now we're even tapping the 1-minute 20 right there. And I was ready. Brand new 5-minute candle right here as well. Brand new 5-minute candle. So I would have had good timing on this. Want that first 5-minute or first 1-minute candle to make a new high. Boom! I stabbed an entry on it right here. Looked like it wanted to stop me out here. I was watching, man. So again, my cut on this would have been 154s. We're flirting with 155s. I was watching the tape very closely. I'm like, if this thing does not break down under 155, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna hold on, give it a chance. Ultimately, it held that level. Try it again right here. I was so close to getting stopped out. So close to getting stopped out. There's a lot of bid support there, though. And once it held this, a new 5-minute candle opened. Started to make a new 5-minute candle high. Started to get a nice move right here. I made a few mistakes on this one, too, but I had pretty good size on this one. My first target was up here. 176 is the high of that this red candle. Being patient for my target. Took half off there. I really wanted to see this squeeze through 182, but it seemed like it was kind of a grinder, especially with this big bullish candle. I wanted to see that thing rip through. And it was kind of hesitating up there. I went ahead and took another, I actually took another quarter off right there. And I'm glad I did, because I was kind of holding this last 125 for a little too long. But it wasn't, so we actually came up to 182 right there. And I should have just took the rest off, but I didn't. Oh no, I guess I was really looking for that push. I was just looking for that quick pop through, and I would have taken the rest off, especially a brand new 5-minute candle right here. But ultimately, it came back down, and I just ended up cutting the rest. Yeah, and that was all my live trades. Unfortunately, my freaking platform wasn't working at the open, but I did want to pull up the open on THAR, because I did take a little setup on this. And yeah, this thing, you can see it put in a crazy move for the day. But what really had me interested was, oh, we got to go back here. Okay. Yeah, so this thing, after I played it over here, it kind of just pulled back into the open, nice weak open, and then it just rips. And this is that very first 5-minute pullback at the open. Here's the high. Just showing you kind of how I traded it. This was in my other account. I didn't trade it in my prop firm because, again, I couldn't get it to work. But the best entry here was you kind of setting up this 5-minute 3-bar. It comes down, tests the 5-minute 8, and VWAP makes a nice push right here. That first 1-minute candle to make a new high can be your entry, and you get that nice squeeze through the highs right here. Pulls back again, another nice squeeze. And this was the really nice pullback right here that would have paid pretty good, because as you can see, that's that first 5-minute pullback. Here's the second. It gives you a nice walk down right here. Could have maybe taken this entry. I would have got stopped out on that, but this was a nice one because, again, you have kind of like that double bottom right. Oh, let me switch. Kind of have it basing right here. Then that new 1-minute candle to make a new high. This was a really good play. So some good opportunities, and I got a lot of good experience today. I learned a lot of things. And guys, the way that I'm doing this, and how hard I'm attacking this stuff, man, I'm only gonna get better and better and better and better. I don't give a fuck about what I'm scared about or what I'm feared about. I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna keep executing on these setups until I can just freaking do it in my sleep. And again, I did tell you something that I struggle with a little bit mentally, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna execute, and I'm gonna do the same shit tomorrow. I'm gonna try my best, and I'm gonna cut my losses when I gotta cut my losses, and when it's time to take my money, I'm gonna take my freaking money. But other than that, guys, Low Scalp Lots out. Peace.